Okay, this is called gum. You wouldn't believe it, honestly. They keep bumping into you. Don't even see you crouching there with your little bucket, your water jet, and your tiny plastic spade. It was like I needed the money. My mother and father, bless them, they paid for me to study Chinese. 3 years in Beijing. Has to do with my dad, really. He's a pharmacist with a sideline in acupuncture and big ambitions for his only son. Since nearly all the books on the ancient art of the needle are in Chinese, well, kind of made sense. I was strapped for cash, so when that flyer came through the door, government needs people to remove chewing gum from Tiananmen Square, I thought, well, why not? How bad could it be? So I turned up at the booth, following instructions to wait under the red flag. There are at least 20 red flags in Tiananmen Square, but working on the theory that the bigger the flag, the more likely the booth, I soon found it. A straggly line of hopefuls wound its way from the flagpole, rather like a tadpole. The queue was headed by a guy in his 60s, khaki jacket, straining over a belly full of noodles, head bowed. Behind him stood a teenager, nodding to the beat of a distant drum, headphones clamped to his ears. But most of the other, less than eager-looking applicants appeared to be students like me. Okay, thank you all for turning up. Hello, where did she spring from? A slim, smartly dressed young woman with a megaphone appeared as if from nowhere and stood next to and parallel with the flagpole. You will each receive 31 an hour and be required to work 8 hours a day. Knee pads and other paraphernalia will be issued shortly, and you are all invited to attend a brief demonstration on the correct way to move this plague of gum from our otherwise pristine square. The disdain with which she pronounced the word gum made me wonder if she was, right at that very moment, eating a handful of the stuff. Said handful having been peed on by all the dogs, cats, and possibly humans too, in the whole of Beijing. She brushed invisible fluff from her crisp navy skirt, her lacquered nails reflecting the clouds in the sky. Well, not quite, but I have truly never seen such shiny nails in my entire life. And believe me, I've been around the block a few times. We stepped up one by one to collect our gear. In each bag, you will find a sealed bucket with, I'm afraid to say, marginally dangerous chemicals, but a mask will be supplied, and the cost of treatment for any ensuing health problems, proof of cause will be required, will be fully reimbursed. Also in the bag, you will find a battery-driven water jet, a small but sturdy spade, rubber gloves and meat pads. My assistant here, she pointed to a small woman in her 50s, who, when she realised that all eyes were upon her, put her hands together as if in prayer and nodded, her feet pressed tightly together. My assistant will patrol the square to note and instantly admonish any shirkers she may detect. Geez, I thought, didn't they have any jobs in McDonald's? Clutching our large paper bags, we shuffled over to where a young man proceeded to demonstrate the activity that, judging by the demeanour of Miss Smartskirt, was apparently necessary for the guaranteed future of the Chinese nation. A softening of the chewing gum through the application of aforesaid dangerous chemicals, don't forget, mask first, was to be followed by physical removal of the offending sugary substance with the help of a death ray water jet. And believe me, you do not want to get on the wrong side of that water jet. Our pro held the gun some 6 inches above the grubby grey substance and angled it so that the water would hit the exact point where gum met square, at the speed of light and with the force of nature. At this point, I noticed that a small group of interested onlookers had gathered around the gum remover. They were probably wondering if this was art, cabaret, or just some nutter escaped from a local asylum, with us taken hostage to lend weight to some credible argument he would have to concoct. The small piece of gum came away from the concrete like some small underwater creature that had decided that life on the ocean bed was no longer for him, or her. Ocean creatures, rather like chewing gum when you come to think of it, which, unsurprisingly, I never had, are not notably ostentatious in the display of their genitalia. And finally, said the young man, you can use the spade to scrape off any remaining vestige of stickiness. And he proceeded to do so with such delight, glee and satisfaction that I wondered about the size of his social network. Probably about as big as that patch of gum, I thought, as I made my way grudgingly to my allocated 6 square metres.